Well, hello from the home studio. You can see the podcast mic there right behind me. That's because I was doing some podcast recording earlier today. I did 3 interviews with some very successful entrepreneurs. Those will be out soon. If you don't know about that, I've got a podcast. You can check it out on iTunes. It's called Get Ahead. Check that out. There's some incredible interviews there. And I'm sitting here in my office reflecting on those conversations and reflecting on my own entrepreneurial journey. And I want to share with you something that literally was the undertone of every single one of these interviews today. And then I realized the same thing was true in my own life and my own entrepreneurial journey. And this almost sunk me. Like literally, what I'm about to share with you almost sunk me 2 times. 2 times. And I want to share with you what that was and what I did about it, because I know you've probably dealt with a similar type of thing. And if not, you probably will at some point. All entrepreneurs do. We all do kind of in our own careers. So I want to share that in just a second. But first, why don't I show you the studio here? This is literally my home office. You can see it's no frills type thing. I got a lot of Fiji water here. I drink a ton when I'm working. And this in particular in the background, you can see this is our content calendar. So my team and I put this together. We got everything mapped out for the next 90 days. This keeps us organized. It keeps us focused. And so that we know what we're doing each and every week. I highly recommend you consider doing something like this, especially if you've got a digital real estate business, which is what this is when you create digital products online and you sell those around the world. All right, let's switch gears here. Let's get to what I want to share with you now, which is literally the underlying tone of these 3 podcast interviews I did earlier and something I've experienced several times in my own life. And that is adversity. Now, I'm going to go deeper than this. What do I mean by adversity? It means when you're up against some significant roadblocks or significant challenges. A lot of us, I find, what do? We avoid adversity. We don't like it. We don't like conflict. I know I certainly don't sometimes. But here's what I've learned in my own journey is that when you can actually deal with the conflict, deal with the adversity, you have so much of an opportunity to learn about yourself and grow. And usually on the other side of that is an even better place than you're in right now. It might not seem that at the time. And that's what's really challenging and confusing is that in the moment, it might be like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of this. I got to, avoid this. But let me share with you 2 examples from my own career so you can see what I'm talking about. So the first one is before I became business partners with Eben in our current business here, I was a sales professional. So I did that for 5 years and I loved every single minute of it. I loved talking with different clients. I did over 5,000 different client conversations over those 5 years. I loved it. I worked 8 to 10 hours a day. I was on the phones all the time helping our clients. It was incredible. And I got so good at it that I started setting new sales records. And there's one time in particular that we had these bonus structures. And so if you hit certain sales targets, you'd get a bonus. And that really motivated me each and every month. And one month I remember I exceeded all the sales bonus targets, right? So like it was up to a certain point and I exceeded it. And so here I was thinking I was doing a great thing. And I was like, well, I should get some sort of like grandmaster bonus or something, right? Because I hit all the bonus structure and more. And my manager at the time was like, sorry, James, we can't give you any more bonus. Like there's a level and that ceiling and that's it. And this didn't make any sense to me. And I was really hurt, angry. I was frustrated. I was like, I just did amazing. Why am I not going to get rewarded for that? It got to the point literally where I almost considered quitting. I kid you not. I almost considered quitting over that. And looking back now, that would have been one of the worst decisions I could have made because I wouldn't be here right now if I did that. If I would have quit then, I wouldn't have became business partners with Eben. We wouldn't have created Go Meta Media. We wouldn't have created all the products we did together. We wouldn't be making the impact we are in the world right now. I wouldn't be investing in real estate to the level I am right now. If I would have quit then, if I wouldn't have been able to deal with the adversity, if I wouldn't have been able to pick myself up and keep on keeping on. That's the first example, a pivotal time in my life. The second is, as you may or may not know, I invest in real estate and I've been doing that for 10 years. And about 3 years ago, it got to a point where I was at about 50, 55 units where I was working on it with my wife and she was helping out a little bit and I was getting frustrated and she was getting frustrated. And I literally was like, you know what? Let's just sell all of this, be done with it. This is too much trouble and hassle. I literally messaged our real estate agent and property manager and was just like, look guys, I'm so sorry. We are liquidating everything. Can you please get to work on this ASAP? Fortunately, I didn't do that. A couple days later, I sent an email and be like, look, we changed our mind. We don't want to do that. And I'm sharing this because fast forward to today, I've got 85 rental units, 7 units pending, which will put me up to 92 units. And I think back to if I would have pressed the button on that and liquidated everything, I wouldn't be where I am now. I wouldn't be teaching real estate investing like I am now because that would have been done and gone. And I share this because I know we all come up to adversity like this in our life, in our business, and you have a choice in that moment. What do you do with it? It's the easy thing to do to quit. I almost did it twice. But if you can deal with it, if you can handle it, if you can work through the conflict, what I've learned in my own life, and every single person that I interviewed today on the podcast experienced the same thing. If you can find a way, if you can push through it, if you can problem solve, on the other end is probably something even better than you know now. And you're just going to keep on keeping on and getting even more success. So I leave that with you today. As you come up to adversity in your own life, in your business, realize the gift there is there. Realize this is your opportunity to move through it and get to even higher levels. Because look, the only way is up. That's what I believe. I want you to get ahead. That's what I'm focused on in my own life too. Have an amazing week. Leave me a comment below, share a story if you've dealt with something like this. I'd love to read it because we can all inspire each other. Sound good? Have an amazing week. I will talk to you next week.